What is up, guys? This right here is my control sensor tutorial. Let's start with the camera. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out my channel playlist for individual tutorials on logic, sculpting, animation, music, and more. So this camera, if you wanted to make it to where a camera is pointing to, will only like move in one direction, you use the camera pointer. And the camera pointer is pretty much these options also in combination with the options that are inside of the camera pointer. So that's pretty much what this is for, and pretty much what you can do in combination with the control sensor is open up your puppet by pressing L1 and, well, just pressing L1 and square. This should open up, and you can mess with the movement speed and stuff like that. If you're using a puppet, you'll need a puppet interface and pretty much connect the buttons to the puppet interface, and then create your own animations like it has here. You can use multiple puppet interfaces. So this is the jump animation. If you're using this puppet right here, you can quickly edit all that stuff down here. If you're using your own puppet, which you'll need this to create your own puppet, you'll need to open it up right here and then build off of this puppet, which is this right here. But then if you're using your own animations, you'll want to turn off this right here. You'll want to turn off both of these and then create your own animations, maybe with the same labels that this has also. So that explains the camera and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and explain the possession type. So remote control makes it where it doesn't need to be possessable in order to move. This way you can completely remove the imp from the game. Follow imp, you can make it to where the character follows the imp, sort of like a cursor. I guess I'd have to be in play mode for that to work. You can mess around with that. I guess that's how you would make your point and click games. Possessable, you have to possess the person in order for it to work, in order for the character to move. And none at all. Let's say you enter a cutscene in the timeline. These are timelines. At the beginning of the timeline, it turns this off so your character can't move anymore. That's what that is. Or you can just disable controls. You can use both. You can do both. And this is very important for what you're trying to do. So right here you have possess, what type of thing it is. If it's in remote control, this will be the one that's on. It'll pretty much say that this is the control sensor that's active. If you're possessed, it'll say this is the control sensor that your PS4 controller is using for player 1 or whatever player you're using it for. That's what both of these are for. Let's go and turn this back on. You can say what player it is. This right here will pretty much make it, I think, move without the camera. So if you wanted to do that, this right here is UI controls. So this right here is how you can make UIs a way to. In order to make UIs, you'll need more than one control sensor, if that makes sense. And you can look up my main menu tutorial if you need help with that. So this is how you can use control sensors. You can put a control sensor inside of a microchip, or you can put it inside of the microchip of a puppet. So every puppet comes with a microchip. What you'll do is press L1 and X, then L1 and X on the puppet, and you can see the microchip. This right here is a microchip also with a label. You can label microchips to make things easier to alter or organize if you're going to put this as an asset or element within the Dreamverse. And these are the animations. What auto guide does while this is inside of your puppet is pretty much whenever I click on the puppet, it's right on my imp. If you don't have auto guide in there with the proper settings, then it won't be right on your imp whenever you pull it from the Dreamverse. That's why that happens. The Z, Y, and X axis is pretty much the ways that it can move within gaming. So movers, essentially it's the same as this. Those are the axes. And you can move that around. That pretty much shows you where the control sensor is if it needs to be detected. So like we can change the name of a control sensor, kind of like a tag. It's kind of like a tag. And using this, you can make it to where within checkpoints, let's say you leave a room and then you come back and you're like, you were the same character, you'll be in the same doorway. I've heard you can do that, or you can just use checkpoints. So this is how all this stuff works with control sensors. It's a very useful tool, one of the most useful tools. I mean, it has to be. And that's how you can use it in combination with the Puppet settings. By pressing L1 and square on the Puppet, you can find the Puppet speed. You can alter the speed of the Puppet interface walking if you want to. You can mess with the acceleration, make it run faster. If you want to change the way it runs, all that stuff right there. How it runs, if you want to run like Naruto, just, you know, mess with this kind of stuff. Run like Sonic, mess with this kind of stuff. How high it can jump, all that stuff whenever you press X. All that stuff right here within there after pressing L1 and square on your Puppet. Again, you'll be sculpting off of your Puppet. You can check out my how to make Puppet or characters with a Puppet, and you can make anything doing that. Don't worry. This right here is the collide types. And the labels. This is a hitbox. Whatever you have it with, it collides with, if it has that label, then pretty much it'll be recognized within the hitbox. So if you want to take a damage, if it has the label of whatever makes it take damage, it'll be recognized within that hitbox, and then it will also send off something right here that says it's been detected by something. It'll also show whenever your player is owning it with a thing. Or at least it should. So let's go ahead and end this tutorial. I hope this explains the control sensor. Check out my channel playlist for all tutorials that you can use for Dreams PS4 to create your stuff and help your games become as great as they possibly can be. Thank you so much for watching control sensors. You can also just use a microchip for your control sensor, also putting it within there. Then putting control sensor in there, and of course doing this to whatever object. Thanks so much for watching, and peace out.